Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's been a crazy couple of days as I haven't made any videos since Thursday. Friday and Saturday I took off, and I'm back here with you now on a Sunday, bringing you all the news that you've missed. And let's talk about a few big things that have happened around the league. So Wemby has looked absolutely phenomenal. He had a game against the Miami Heat, and he just looked completely dominant. Haywood Highsmith actually had a steal and refused to drive on him because he's such a paint presence. He had a couple dunks in that game, and he even had one where he didn't jump, and another where he got it in the paint and just put on top of Thomas Bryant, and he looked completely shocked as he's just not used to a player of Wemby's caliber able to move like that at that size and finish around the rim so well. He's looked absolutely phenomenal in this preseason, and I'm very excited to see him now in the regular season coming up. Ryan Hollins actually came out with another one of his ridiculous takes, saying that Kobe Bryant was not deserving of the 2008 MVP award, the only one of his career. I'm not sure why he's talking about Kobe in this sense. Of course, Kobe, a deceased NBA player. A lot of people really love Kobe Bryant. Maybe this is just a way of him getting some more shine. He has gone on record before and talked about how he doesn't think that Kobe Bryant is really as good as LeBron James or some other players that he's mentioned. That might be the case, but the way that he talks about him is like he wasn't that good of a player at all. In 2008, for example, too, I mean, he's putting up 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists, and they were the best team in the Western Conference. They played the Celtics in the finals and lost ultimately, and Ryan Hollins' whole case here is that Paul Pierce was the best player in the world that year. I don't really see that being right, as he wasn't even the best player on the Celtics, in my opinion, as they had Kevin Garnett there for his first season, along with Ray Allen, but Garnett won DPOY and was the big difference maker there in the playoffs. Pierce still winning the Finals MVP, but it really could have gone either way, and if it's not clear cut, I don't think you can say that Paul Pierce is the best player in the world. It just doesn't seem right, and that MVP for Kobe, pretty deserving in my opinion. I don't know who else you would have gone with in '08. Maybe a Chris Paul. That definitely could have been a good selection that year. But Kobe's completely fine. Where there are arguments to be made, I don't think it's for Paul Pierce. We also have the Pelicans now, without Trey Murphy, Larry Nance Jr., or Jose Alvarado, and now Najee Marshall is also out with a bone bruise in his leg and will be reevaluated in 2 weeks. We saw Zion looking pretty out of place on defense, as it isn't his strong suit. He's a guy that just likes to jump out of the gym, but really he's just looking for blocks and box score stats. He's not looking to play defense within a system or help the team in that matter, and that really shows. A great offensive talent, as he was an all-star last season, and I think he's going to be great this year, but he really has some massive improvements to make on the defensive end. And now with Najee Marshall out, that's the fourth player out, their defense is just getting a little bit worse, and not a good sign for the Pelicans going into the regular season. Let's see what adjustments they can make for that. Miles Bridges has turned himself in after the charges that he is facing and the arrest warrant towards his ex-girlfriend and his 2 kids, with the pool ball going through the windshield while the kids were in the car. Hopefully everything can get settled on that end. I'm glad he turned himself in and there wasn't anything extra here. It's been a crazy ride for the Hornets here recently, as Kai Jones has been pretty well everywhere with his music and his social media presence, and getting waived by the Hornets. And now Miles Bridges probably indefinitely suspended from the team, if not the NBA, after the situation. We'll see what will come to that, and I will keep you updated on that end. We also have Andrew Wiggins coming out and saying that he intends to play for Team Canada in Paris in 2024 for the Olympics. He also intends on making the all-defensive team and all-star team this season. A bit ambitious, but I think it's definitely plausible. Wiggins is a great defensive player, gets some shine where he is on the Golden State Warriors. It's a little bit tougher next to guys like Green, Looney, and not so much Klay Thompson anymore, but it used to be. And hopefully he can still, show some shine on that team and not get too buried within a defensive system. And I think he can definitely make an all-star team like he already has for the Warriors. And I think that's a great goal for him this season, as he does look to hopefully win another championship with that great team, as well as make Team Canada for the Paris Olympics in 2024. We had James Harden expecting to be traded, as he said he will be ready for the October 20th preseason game. And I don't believe that he's looking to play that for the 76ers. There's lots of speculation around the league of a trade for the Clippers obtaining James Harden. They're looking to get Terrence Mann in return. It might not be possible, but that's what's looking to happen. The Clippers have suggested some pick swaps as well as expiring contracts to add into the deal to make it a little bit juicier for the 76ers, but they haven't bid on it just yet, as Morey is staying pretty firm, even though Harden is pretty disgruntled and not happy with the team, with Oubre, of course, which he hasn't come out publicly said, but we know the, drama between two of them, which I've previously talked about, and his relationship with Morey is just completely, deteriorated at this point. However, he is willing to stay professional and play with the team, as he did sign a contract with them. He was looking to retire 76er, he said. It doesn't look like it's going to be the case right now. Hopefully a deal can be in place there with the Clippers, and we'll see him on the Clippers very soon. Bleacher Report released their top 100 lists, and this is the last thing I want to talk about today. Very strange list, pretty controversial. The top 10 wasn't too crazy, but I want to talk to you about where I would shift some more notable players. There's definitely some more that I talk about in the bottom half of the list, but these are the top half of the list, guys, that I think should have deserved a little bit more shine, as they are coming off some great seasons, and I think where this is a projection list for this season, they should be projected to be higher on this ranking. So first we had the top 10 being Jokic, Giannis, Doncic, Embiid, Tatum, Steph, LeBron, Durant, Booker, and AD. So the way that I changed that, I think Jokic at number 1 is very fair. You put anybody around Nikola Jokic as the top offense in the NBA. His defense was around average to just a little bit better than average last season. So as he continues to improve on that end, as he is such a great offensive talent, I can't say that he's not going to be the best player in the league this season, because I think he's the best player in the world right now. Number 2 being Giannis. I think I would flip him and Doncic. Giannis has Lillard with him as well right now, and I don't think Lillard's a guy that's going to make Giannis better. He hasn't really made teammates better in the past, in my opinion, so I think with Lillard with the ball in his hands a whole lot, I don't think Giannis is going to be that much better, and I'd slide him down to the 3rd spot, not a big change, and Doncic, where he just has Kyrie and not a whole lot of other pieces on that team, I think he's going to be the 2nd best player in the league this season. Number 4, we have Joel Embiid. I think that's a good spot for him. Just coming off an MVP season, I could even see him sliding up a little bit over Giannis. But for right now, I will keep Embiid at number 4. If a Harden trade goes down, I'm kind of worried about how that makes the team look. Maybe Embiid can still flourish. Maybe his efficiency takes a big hit. So I'll leave him at number 4 right now. Could change to number 3, however. We have Jason Tatum at number 5, a fair spot. However, I think there's another superstar that should be sharing that spot with him, and that would be Anthony Davis, who I would slide into at about the 6th spot. I think he's going to be better than LeBron this year. I think he's going to take the team by the horns and really control them. He's the guy you want in the driver's seat. That's the guy that I want the Lakers to have as their best player this season. I expect big, big things for Anthony Davis. So the next 2 guys, Steph and Bron, I expect them to just shift down a spot as I put Davis in at number 6. And number 9, of course, in this case now, will be Kevin Durant for me. I think he's going to be the best player on the Suns still. I can't see Booker being any better than Durant. I can't see him being that close. I'd put Booker probably at the number 11 or 12 spot this season, if not a little lower, if some other guys can play some defense where Booker doesn't really do a whole lot of that. And at the number 10 spot, I'm going to put Shea. Shea was just an all-NBA player. I think he has a little bit of a better play style and bag, so be it, than Devin Booker. And although Booker can get a bucket, it's not as efficient. Shea doesn't shoot many threes, but he is very efficient from the mid-range, getting to the rim. And I believe that he is a better playmaker, in my opinion. And you know what? He's just as good of a shot creator as Devin Booker, and the defense is better on Shea, as he does have a much better wingspan, and he's more willing to get involved on the defensive end, as Booker is kind of lazy at times. Also, the other guys that I want to mention were Jimmy Butler is at number 12. He's going to be 34 now coming up. I don't really see that happening for Jimmy, especially in the regular season. He doesn't tend to play too much time in the regular season, around 60 games last year. And I don't see him being that good where there's so many good players in the league right now. That's quite a high ranking. I probably would have put him at the lower of the top 20, if not just outside of 20. Then we also have Domantas Sabonis at number 35. Complete disrespect for him. I really don't like what Bleacher Report's done talking about Domantas Sabonis, who I think is a top 5 center in the league. Probably the 3rd or 4th best center in the league behind Jokic and Embiid. And he had a great year last year, putting up some great numbers for the Kings. Lots of assists, lots and lots of rebounds. Obviously, I think he led the league actually in rebounding last year. Put up a lot of points. And just because he didn't perform against the Warriors in that first round doesn't mean I'm going to take away his whole season and body of work right there. I think he's still going to be a great player in this league. Just outside the top 10 for me. Probably around the 15 spot for him. And I think he's the best player on the Kings. And I think he's better than De'Aaron Fox, who they had ranked at number 17. So, yeah, a little bit of disrespect there for Sabonis for sure. I can't see him taking a big dip this year. It doesn't make any sense to me as he was a top 20 player in the league last season. We also had Markkanen at number 32. So the thing is with Markkanen, I am a Bulls fan, of course, and I didn't like his time with the Bulls, but now that he's on the Jazz, he played phenomenal last year. He played 26 points per game. 26 points per game is great in this league. He shot the ball really well. He was an all-star, and I think this year he could definitely put up 28 points a game, and I think he could slide into that top 20. 32 is too low when you got guys like Trey who put up some empty calorie numbers, whereas the Jazz at one point in time looked like they might even be a play-in team. So I think they can take that next step this season, led by Lauri Markkanen, and with Walker Kessler just getting better, along with some other young guys that they have. Why not the Jazz? Why can't Lauri Markkanen be a better player in this league? And if he's an all-star, let's put him higher than top 30. That's just my opinion. I think he could be on the fringe of making an All-NBA third team this year. So let's see if that can happen. All right, this has been Core Chronicles, of course. My first video in the last couple of days. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button. There's lots more content like this coming up in the near future. And, of course, I'll see you in the next one.